Jesus is calling us, reminding us to continue to support Donald Trump. He's warning us not to attack him, not to judge him. He's telling us to support him and vote for him and pray for him. He's being attacked. He has been attacked by a lot of people. He's being attacked by his own government people, from Democrats, even Republicans. They're attacking him. They are going against him. And they don't want him to be re-elected as a president for the second term of presidency. And a lot of people of the general public are also against Donald Trump. They think that he's a bad guy. There have been lies spread everywhere, from the news, from the mainstream media, from the movies, from the entertainment, from social media. There are lies everywhere, and people have been deceived. They're just going by what they hear from the news. They're going by what they hear, whatever they get in, whatever they receive, without following God, without relying on God. Therefore, they get deceived. They follow the crowd, group of people, rumors. When there are more than one people claim about something, people tend to listen to them and believe what they say. That's how rumors, that's how gossip and rumors spread. That's how the misinformation gets spread all over the country and the world. Now there are a lot of people, most people, a lot of people think that Donald Trump is the bad guy, that he's the evil one. Some people are even believing that he is the chosen one by God to be the Antichrist, not the servant of God. People have been deceived. God is reminding us, Jesus is reminding us that he is the chosen one by God, chosen one by him, to serve his kingdom. He's a chosen one to be the president for America, to raise up this country under God's system and justice and righteousness. People will not be able to understand Donald Trump, and people will not be able to go in the right direction without relying on God, without following God, without yielding to him. We have to follow the Spirit of God. If we go out of our own ways, using our own logic, our intellect, we will get deceived. You will fall right into Satan's trap, because lies are everywhere. It will be very hard for you to filter that. It will be virtually impossible to get around it without God's help, because God will remind you where to go, where to stop, what to avoid. He will tell you who is the right person and who is the bad one. And he will remind you and tell you who you should support and pray for him. It's Donald Trump. He is the one. Only very, very, very few people will follow God and support Donald Trump, Because most people are deceived. Because most people don't listen to God. Let me give you an explanation here. Let me give you a perspective in numbers. Actually, this is very important. Rapture number is very relevant to this matter. The number of people that get raptured during the tribulation, and the number of people that are the remnant of Christ, the people that will get raptured. Actually, we need to better understand that because it is very closely interlinked. There are very, very, very few people that will get raptured. It's not going to be millions of people. It's not going to be millions out of 7.5 billion people. It will be microscopic. Jesus told me and confirmed to me and reassured me that it is about 144,000 people out of 7.5 billion people. So what is that in percentage? $750,000, 7,000, 70,000, 700,000, 7 million, 70 million, 700 million, 7 billion. Times 100, that'll give you a percentage. Okay. Roughly about 0.00192% of the world population actually follow God, follow Jesus in spirit. Not our flesh, not our understanding from the outside, but from the spirit, following God. That's how few that follow God. Listening, hearing God is one thing, but obeying God is another. But when you are chosen, when you get to the point where you hear God, you are likely the chosen one. So you will obey Him. Not just hear Him, but you will obey Him because you will fear God. Okay? So that is how few people that actually follow God, following His direction. And these are the people who will be able to know who to support, who to pray for, and that they know that Donald Trump is a chosen one by God that we must support and pray for him for protection and for re-election so that he can be re-elected to serve the presidency for second term, because that is what God wants and it must be fulfilled. It's a prophecy and we must obey him, pray for him. And out of all the rest of the people, outside of this group of people, outside of these chosen people, will get deceived. And when they get deceived, they will tend to, they will listen to the lies. That's how they get deceived. And they will attack people like Donald Trump. They will fall right into judgment, to judge him, to criticize him, and assume that he is the bad guy, that he is the evil one. And about 99.99% of Christians are also deceived. I'm talking Christians, 99.9 or 99.99% of the Christians also don't obey God. Okay? Because they didn't surrender to God. So they're not going to be able to hear Him or won't listen to Him, obey Him. They will not fear God. They will go right along with the crowd, fall into Satan's deception, and be misguided. So when you see people, when you see people, a group of people or a crowd, believing something, claiming something like criticizing Donald Trump, that he is the bad guy, that's how you know that they are deceived. Because only very, very few people listen to God and hear God and obey Him. And whenever you hear somebody attacking someone, judging someone, criticizing, judging someone like Donald Trump, that he's the bad guy, evil one, that already shows you their fruit, that they're not following God. It is not our job to judge people. It's better for you to be quiet. If you want to judge, don't judge. Just stay quiet. Only thing you can do is be supportive. Okay? God is not against you supporting others out of love, even if you made a mistake. Even if you believe something that may actually not be true, but if you are supportive, it's not a bad thing. God doesn't get angry with that. But whenever you judge somebody, there becomes a problem. Okay? We must not judge. That's how you tell people. That's how you know that they bear good fruit or not. That they might not be following God. Or at least they're being deceived. They're being misled. Some may be trying to follow God, but they may be going the wrong direction because they fail to obey God. They fail to hear Him and obey Him. Even the elect, it's in the Bible, even the elect of Christians will get deceived because the deception is so strong in these end times. That's why, like I showed you earlier, percentage-wise, like 0.000192% of the population can hear God. And they will go in the right direction because God guides them. If you attack Donald Trump, you too will be attacked in some point later down the road. If you attack Donald Trump, you too will be attacked. You'll be held accountable later. God will question you. And there will be a lot of people that will come to realization. Those who attacked Donald Trump, in the future, they will come to realization that they messed up, that they have been misled, they've been deceived. They will realize, they will see the truth that Donald Trump is chosen one by God to do good work for His kingdom. We cannot go by the look of the person, the outside. We cannot know for sure from our eyes, from what we see, what we hear. Only God knows the truth. So we have to yield to God. We have to yield. We have to yield to God. Surrender to Him. If we don't surrender to Him, then we fall right into deception. That's just how it works. If we surrender to God and yield to Him and check with God on everything before we make judgment, before we decide something, then we'll be led in the right direction because God will guide you. He will make sure that you are guided the right way, His way. And He will keep you in that right direction all the way, from point A to B, all the way to the end, until the appointed time. That's why we have to stay close to God all the time, every day. It's not a one day out of a week. Going to a Sunday's church is nothing. It won't do you any good. You have to follow the Spirit of God on a daily basis, hour by hour, moment by moment. Because God's Spirit will be in you, living in you, guiding you all the time. You'll be talking with God. You'll be hearing God. He will guide you every moment of your life. Here's one of the video clips that I can show you that Donald Trump is doing the right thing. Check this video out.
So they asked for a list of top-line items from President Trump yesterday in the White House. They send over this list after their meeting, and it literally forced some members of the Republican leadership to laugh about it. Senator Roy Blunt, he made a public comment about it. He couldn't believe that on the list of items that the president wants is a new FBI building. Yeah, President Trump's been pushing for a new FBI building for a while. That's on the list, among other crazy items that are on the list. Really? And you mock Nancy Pelosi for shoving in pork and pet projects? Where's this drain the swamp talk? There was plenty of other things in there that made no sense for a stimulus package. What in the world does a new FBI building have to do with Americans who are suffering right now? Tell me. I'd love to know. Someone tell me in the chat right now. I can't figure it out. I mean, he mocks them on a regular basis anyway. So he wants them to have a new building? Okay. That's just one of the ridiculous items. One of the big sticking points, though, is this payroll tax cut. So yesterday, in this meeting we're hearing, they sat down, and one of the things that President Trump brought up was the payroll tax cut. And he looked around the room, and he asked, who's in support of this? Can we get this through? Payroll tax cut? Now, President Trump, you'll remember, has said he would veto any new stimulus that didn't have a payroll tax cut. That means if you get a paycheck, your paycheck would have fewer taxes taken out of that paycheck. But the problem is that many programs that rely on payroll taxes are about to go insolvent, like Social Security, Medicaid. How are we going to pay for it? It's one of our biggest drivers of revenue in the federal government. He's already cut payroll taxes once in 2016. How are we going to do it again? Republicans are not on board with this. Democrats absolutely don't want it, but Republican senators do not want it. So he glanced over, according to the reports, he glanced over to Senator McCarthy, Ryan McCarthy, and he looked back at him, Kevin McCarthy, excuse me. I'm thinking of my friend from high school, Ryan McCarthy. He looked over at Kevin McCarthy, and Kevin said, he did this with his face. Then he looked over at Senator Mitch McConnell, and Mitch McConnell just went. Have you ever seen that face before? Honey, do you want to go to that restaurant tonight? That was the response on payroll tax cuts. And President Trump says he'll veto it if that's not included in it. There's no appetite for it. You had a number of senators come out yesterday publicly saying they don't support it because how are we going to pay for Social Security, Medicaid, and other programs? We can't. But among the big big things that were discussed yesterday, and what we're likely to now see inside of this, is a liability protection. So let's go through the items we know are being talked about openly. I really think, because I think we're at stalemate on some of these items. I mean, there are some high-level items right now between the White House and Republicans that they're just at a stalemate. It reminds me of this. I saw this morning and started laughing. Like, this is the White House, and on the left there are the Senate Republicans. And over here are some Democrats. Just want to get in on the action a little bit. Just kind of sniffing around, waiting. But we'll just sit here. We'll just sit here and wait. That's kind of what it looks like to me right now. So, another piece that the Republicans couldn't believe was left out of the White House's proposals was testing and tracing. And one Republican senator said, "How tone deaf do you have to be? How tone deaf do you have to be?" They didn't say this on the record. They didn't want their name out there. But a Republican senator openly mocking President Trump, saying, "How tone deaf do you have to be? Right now, we need contact tracing and testing." It's incredibly important because Senate Republicans more and more have spoken out about it in recent weeks, and they absolutely needed to be in this draft. They couldn't believe that the White House didn't have it in there. Among the things, though, that are shaping up right now, let's go through the details that we know at this hour. So buckle your seat belts, pull up your pants. The administration, led by Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, sent over a red line proposal. They cut out $25 billion in testing. Cut it out. No testing. Do you think that's going to pass among Democrats? No. Even Republicans were pissed about it. No testing, no contact. What, are you crazy? They cut out $10 billion for the Centers for Disease Control. So the CDC, they cut that out. Senators were like, what? How tone deaf do you have to be? Another $15 billion they cut out for the National Institutes of Health. The NIH, cut that out. They also cut out global health funding and virus-related funds for the Pentagon. I mean, am I living in a bizarro world? You cut out testing. You cut out testing at the Pentagon. You cut out health funding at the global health funding level. You cut out money for the Centers for Disease Control in your proposals. Those were your top items that you were focused on when you sent this over to the Senate? I need a swig of iced coffee after that. And you want a new FBI building. Priorities, folks. So here are some other items that are on the table right now. Liability protections. Let's go through the rest of this list. Liability protections. Of all the pieces in the forthcoming GOP legislation, this is the big one that Senator Mitch McConnell wants absolutely.
Okay. Donald Trump is against supporting funding testing and contact tracing. What that is funding for testing coronavirus, COVID-19. Trump is now against it because he's finding out the truth that COVID-19 is fake. He knows that it's bullshit. And he's against it. But he's facing the enemy is so big. He can't overcome them because everybody is against him. And he doesn't want to support those people. He doesn't want to fund COVID-19 testing program because they keep spreading lies to the general public through mainstream media, brainwashing, giving false numbers, fraud numbers on COVID cases. They're all fraud. And Donald Trump knows that. And as well as he is also against funding the medical institutions, the health institutions, because they're all in the same game of this project, COVID-19. The deep state government is trying to start the new world order. And Donald Trump is against that. He wants to raise up America under God's system, not the evil way. So this is just one of the things that I saw, that Donald Trump is doing the right thing. And Jesus told me that he is doing the right thing. He's doing what he's assigned to do. He's doing what Jesus is guiding him to do. We can't expect him to fix everything. There's no way. Because everybody is against him. Almost everybody. Even the government people have to follow God. In order to run the government the right way, they have to surrender to God and follow His Spirit. That is the only way. If you don't follow God in spirit, you will go right into darkness. That's why the government has become so corrupt. Very, very deep corruption. And Donald Trump is realizing more and more how corrupted the government is. He's doing everything he can to try to right the wrong. He's slowing down the progress of this progression of New World Order. So please support Donald Trump, because he is the chosen one by God. And unfortunately, the judgment is coming. We have already entered tribulation. And the worst things are coming. And Jesus told me that Donald Trump will survive. He will make it through the tribulation and raise up this country under God. And that evil ones will be purged from this earth, that they will perish. And only the people that follow God will remain on earth. Donald Trump is a special person. He is selected, appointed by God. So please support him. Pray for him. Vote for him. And share good words about him. And not to attack him. So many people have been deceived. And they're going the wrong way. And we need to let them know that Donald Trump is God's chosen man to serve this country. All right, Jesus bless you.